Hey, 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 hey. What's happening out there? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? It's me, your homegirl, Adosha Wright, the author of Curly Hair Adventures, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon, the Beauty and Barber Survival Plan. I have a hair in my eye. How's that working out when you're trying to do it go live? All right, so how y'all doing out here? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this has been like the most requested go live of my entire Instagram posting career, and that is how in the ham sandwich do you use that RevAir device, okay? So here's what they don't tell you at the hair salon about using the RevAir device, which by the way, the Rev Design Team Hair Salon, we are partners. We are RevAir Salon partners. So I've done my own little homework, tryouts and everything, and I can tell you this baby works. So here's what I want you guys to understand. First things first, the RevAir device begins to work before you put it on your hair. Let me say that again. The RevAir device begins to work before you put it on your hair. So what does that mean? That means if you have not prepped your hair properly, be it a blow dryer or RevAir, you're going to have horrible results. And I'm finding that a lot of people are not prepping the hair properly before they RevAir. So when you're watching a lot of the videos, you're not in the green room. You're missing the behind the scenes of how this went down, kind of like my t-shirt. So my homegirl Rashida, you know, she was with me in Lithonia when I went to buy this t-shirt on behalf of the Amon-Ra Squad, because I wish I was down with the Amon-Ra Squad, but I'm not. That's okay. I'm still their #1 fan. They don't know it yet, but anywho. So you don't know the behind the scenes of how I got this t-shirt. People might think Asar gave it to me, or, you know, Brother Unc or Sister Naya. No, in reality, I flew all the way to Georgia, had Rashida drive me all the way to the Black Dot Cultural Store, right? And then we went in and we met Brother Cass, he's the owner, and we bought the t-shirt, and he donated books to the Wright Library of the Gay and Girl Skills Academy in Africa. You see that? So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's taking place that you don't see. So when it comes to the RevAir, you're missing the behind the scenes. And so the behind the scenes is prepping the hair. So I'm using the RevAir towel. And so this is a terry towel. Now you don't have to have this one. You can get brand new, because you know you down with RevAir and the Amon-Ra Squad, which I am, okay? All right, so now I like the terry little turban because the fabric is super. If you guys can see that, it's kind of limp. It sucked up a lot of oil. You see that? You see that? Woohoo! That thing works. You see that? So, but what it doesn't do is that it doesn't roughen up the hair. So this is why we're talking about before you RevAir. Now, if you're going to use a regular towel, okay, which I'm in a hair salon. This ain't my towel at home. I'm like, what's that on there? That's hair color, okay? So now, if you're going to use a towel, you're going to squeeze the water out the same way. Don't take your towel and do this, because now when you get ready to RevAir, your hair is going to be frizzy, and you're going to be, oh, I spent that money. That don't work. Here's what they don't tell you at the hair salon, and this is why this company has partnered with so many different people with different talents, so that they can be on the post and answer all your questions, because no one company has all the answers, okay? Let's just keep it 100. So I'm squeezing out this water, okay? And I'm making sure that I don't roughen up the hair, okay? I'm gonna squeeze out the water, all right? Okay, now remember, hair care and hairstyling are about what? The right products, the right tools, and the right techniques. Now, you guys hear me talk about that all the time, so I ain't gonna tell you enough about that one. That's enough already on that subject. So, the right comb is the right tool. So we want to begin to comb her hair out. Now, I've already conditioned her so she's nice and detangled. So the question always comes up with the RevAir is, can I use a thermal protectant? Okay, so you can use a thermal protectant if you want to, but understand, if you buy the device and you buy the whole kit, you get a product, you get 3 products in their Tribology line. This is one of them, and this is called Play It Straight. So Play It Straight, according to the manufacturer's instructions, is for for textures 3 and 4. So that's like medium to strong hair. So she has coarse. This hair, when we say coarse, we're not talking coarse as in rough. We're talking coarse as in strength. So when I do a strand test on her hair, I take 1 strand and I go to tug on it. You see that? It's not breaking. And I'm pulling it. Y'all see my arm shaking? This is not going to break because she has a lot of cuticle layers. So her hair is very, very, very strong. My hair is medium. So I use Wave Goodbye because I have color treated hair. All right, but if I didn't, I would use Play It Straight, okay? So this is a thermal protectant. Now RevAir does not have that kind of heat like a blow dryer, but I'm gonna blow dry 1/2 and I'm gonna RevAir the other, okay? So you guys can have something to compare it to. Now I'm going to use the product like I teach you guys, rub it all over your hands like you're putting on lotion, and we're gonna start it from the ends because this is what's gonna be floating in the device, right? And this is the oldest part, and then I'm gonna work my way up because this will be in the device as well, right? You see that? And now I'm going to comb the product through using the right comb. In my professional opinion, the biggest mistake that people make with using the RevAir, and I'm sorry, y'all just gonna be like, girl, you tripping. I ain't even gonna apologize. I'm gonna keep it 100. If y'all using this type of crap on y'all hair, when you have this kind of texture, you know, and it's not frizzing up right now because I got all the stuff on it. But if you have, like it's bush and it's really, you know, a lot of texture, don't use these. I mean, you might can get away with it, but you're not gonna get the optimal results out of your investment. So please throw these in the garbage for once and for all. Now, if you have a lot of texture, you're gonna be okay, all right? So I ain't gonna be that skanky, okay, Rashida? I ain't gonna be that skanky, Rah 41, help me out, okay? Now, this link is also, the link to the RevAir device is also in my Amazon store, amazon.com/LaDosha Wright, okay? So now the hair is combed through. Oh, the next question that people ask is, what other conditioners can you use with the device? This is a little bit of satin tang, so you can use satin tang. Any leave-in conditioner, I think will be fine. What you want to be careful of are these oils. So some people ask about oils. The right oil is pretty light, but if you must use just like a pea size, I'm talking, you can't even see it, just a little bit. Now, I'm not gonna put any in her hair because she doesn't need that, okay? So, but if you must, a little bit, rub it all over like lotion, starting from the ends. Always, always, always comb it through. The teeth on the comb has to be long enough to get through textured hair, be it very long, short, or whatever, okay? So it doesn't matter the length. Next up is your technique. Now I'm gonna do 1/2 of her hair with a blow dryer, and I'm gonna come back and do the other, 1/2 with RevAir, and then I'll come back and do the other half with the blow dryer because Instagram will cut you off, all right? So here we go. Now, the manufacturer says use 3 by 3 sub-inch sections. I've seen a lot of videos, people got them all broken down into little tiny pieces. No, don't do that, because you need enough girth to float in the device to make the hair nice and smooth, all right? Next, we need resistance. I see a lot of people RevAiring and they're following it back. No. Now, RevAir ain't responsible for that. That's our job as cosmetologists in the hair salon. So we teach our guests to use resistance so that we can help with the hair. We want to pull this texture out. If she goes back, we're giving into the texture, okay? Now, the number setting. I'm going to go on record to say, if you're new to the device, start off on number 1. All right, I've been using the device for a while, so I'm going to start her off on number 4. To date, I have not had to go to number 7 on anybody, but that's my little petri dish of experience, okay? So some people have, but I haven't. All right, and the hair must be clean. A lot of times I watch these videos and people are talking about they're leaving knots in the hair, that this is how Afro textured hair is supposed to be. They didn't take the time to comb it out because they wanted to hurry up and get to the good part. Hey guys, this ain't sex, okay? This is hair. You might can rush and do that in bed, but you can't do that with your hair, okay? You're gonna have to take your time and be like SOS. Baby, we can do it. Take your time, do it right. We can do it, baby. Do it tonight, all right? Another thing that I see people do is I see this. I don't even know what this is all about. Now, they didn't ask you to not do that. The company has said there's no reason to keep doing this. Now, I know you're like, I was bored, I was tired. You're wasting your investment. Remember, this wand has this aerodynamics, and the aerodynamics is pulling the hair and laying the cuticle flat so that it can come out straight. So when you're going up and down, you know what you're doing? You're pushing the cuticles up. You're pushing the cuticles open, and now your hair is frizzy. So again, the success of the RevAir starts before you put the RevAir device on your hair. If your scalp is not, I'm talking about squeaky clean. Now remember, she had some, she was using Jerry Curl moisturizer on her hair. And that's some pretty heavy, waxy stuff. I had to repeat and lather 5 times, and I had to use a clarifying shampoo. And you're using, what's that stuff? You know, like that, that no poo. No poo is not for RevAir. Particularly if you haven't shampooed your hair beyond 7 days. Now, if you shampooed your hair within that time frame, no poo is going to be okay. But if you haven't shampooed your hair that long, hey, okay? All right, there she is. You guys see that? Now, next up, what you want to do is comb the hair while it's warm. You see that? So you can maximize the heat to keep the hair smooth. So again, we're going with these 3 by 3 inch subsections, 3 by 3, okay? You see that? And you can blend and collect some of the old hair, the smooth out hair, and add it so you can have a nice blend. You don't want to see hair in the comb. If you're combing the hair out and you're still seeing hair in the comb and you're going to RevAir, you will not have optimal results. You're not going to have optimal results, all right? So you got to make sure the hair is clean. And I know, I'm just going to go on record to say this from my research and my experience here behind the chair. A lot of African Americans, a lot of black folk, and a lot of Afro, Latinos, and Puerto Ricans, a lot of us were not brought up how to cleanse our hair the way I teach it. A lot of us, you know, we're trying to lay our head back in the shower and do all this. That ain't gonna work, y'all. And I know we've been doing that since like the beginning of time, or okay, since slavery. I don't know what happened before slavery because we don't have the history. Well, I have not found the history to how we were doing it. But when you look at some of our ancient netter or hieroglyphs, when you look at some of the pottery from the archaeological finds, we're seeing a lot of combs. And so that's telling me that somebody in antiquity knew that this scalp and this hair would tangle and something was happening. And so that's why you have so many combs. So all this stuff about finger combing, hey, you know, you can't do that. You can't finger comb. And I know a lot of people are like, well, that's what I've been doing. Well, if you do what you always do, then you're going to get what you always got. Now, with the RevAir, you can check the scalp and make sure it's dry. And this is not taking a long time. You see that? Voila. There are no tangles. There are no tangles on her hair. You see that? Really nice. Now, I am going to flat iron her hair. And again, don't get lazy and then try to force all of that into one section. Don't do it. Remember, it is imperative. You must comb the hair out. You're combing the hair out to detangle it. You're combing the hair out to redistribute your product throughout your hair. And to all of you who are really stuck on thermal protectants, remember, the Tribology line, it has protectants in it to protect your hair from the heat. But on the lowest setting, this is not as hot as a blow dryer. So all you have to do is just hold this. If you're pumping it, you're pushing the cuticle up. And the air, you're interrupting the aerodynamic flow. This is like a vacuum. But it's not the same science as a vacuum cleaner. So if you're like, I ain't thinking about RevAir. I'm about to go down in the basement and get Grand, you know, Ganga's old Kirby, remember the Kirby blow dry machine? And I'm gonna plug it up and I'm gonna take off the little attachment and I'm gonna stick it on my hair. You're not gonna get the same result, okay? Because the flow on this, the design is for hair. A vacuum cleaner is suction, you know, for dirt, to just pull up dirt. It's not protecting any cuticles and it's not massaging any scalp. Doesn't this feel nice on your scalp? She said, yes, this feels really nice. And all I have to do is just check. I'm just gonna bring my fingers down away and voila. And again, while the hair is warm, you see that? You guys, her hair is so long, okay? All right, my last piece that I'm gonna hop off, and then I'm going to go over to the blow dryer, okay? Now remember, with the RevAir device, you can also take this and you can go no heat or low heat. So in the front, because she's thinner, I'm going low on the heat. You gotta be really creative. Don't try to cookie cut. You know, again, a lot of the generalization, that whole monolith, you know, thought processes, that's coming from being taught that all black people, all Puerto Ricans, all Afro-Latinos, you know, we have the same. No, we do not have the same hair. Those are just categories, you know, to make your shopping and all that a little bit easier. But it's still very personal. So the front of her hair doesn't have as much density, and you can see that. So I don't need to have that much heat. So that's down on low. Not, she needs heat now. Hold on now. Okay, I understand, Rashida, okay? So, but it doesn't need to be high. And so there we have it, but it's still going to smooth out the hair. The heat is not the secret to the RevAir device. It is the aerodynamics. That's why you do not need to do this. when you see the video and they're doing this, they're just, that's showmanship. They're just trying to show you what's happening. But you don't do this because you're messing up the flow, all right? So I'm just gonna pull that out, and voila, there she is, nice and smooth, okay? All right, we're gonna go to the second half, and I'm gonna blow dry the second half of her hair with a regular blow dryer using the Denman brush. But I would like for you guys to hit your thumbs up and your hearts and subscribe and all that good stuff, because this RevAir does work. You just got to understand the RevAir device works before you put it on your hair, and before means the hair must be clean. The hair must be detangled. You must follow the manufacturer's directions, instructions, and use the subsections accordingly. You can use your own thermal protectant or leave-in conditioner, but you can use their Tribology line. This matches the number 3, 4 per this manufacturer's instructions, not somebody else's. So this number system applies to the RevAir science, okay? And you can use just a little bit of a light oil if you must. I haven't had to use the oil, maybe on a few people, just a little bit, but for the most part, I have not had to use a lot of oil. So the RevAir device works best when you prep the hair properly. Make sure it's clean. Make sure you detangle it. Make sure you're using the right comb. Make sure you're sucking the water, you're getting it out of the hair. Make sure you're applying the product properly. Don't just rub that stuff in. You have to comb it through, and you will have 100% satisfaction results. You can look at my YouTube channel. I use the RevAir. Showed you guys how I use it on my hair and the blow dryer. So I'm gonna get off, come back on, and blow dry the other half. All right. Peace, love, and hair. And if you ain't got no hair, rub your beautiful, beautiful bald head. Peace and black power per the Amara Squad.